Bees do not hibernate in winter, unlike many other insects. From about November to the end of March, they are in the hive, but they live a normal life, feed and react actively to their environment. Nectar and pollen are prepared in advance by bees. Their metabolism in winter is slowed down, and they consume negligible amounts of food, and their intestines are not cleared at all. But besides the problem of nutrition, there is another one: low temperatures. Like all living creatures, bees are afraid of cold, wind and damp. So how does the hive deal with this problem? In the fall, bees narrow the hive's entrance and seal all the cracks of their dwelling with propolis. By the way, beekeepers believe that the more thoroughly they do this, the colder the winter will be. Each individual bee is not capable of maintaining a constant body temperature. But the inhabitants of the hive come together and collectively, in large numbers, they can release as much heat as they need to maintain vital functions. When the temperature drops to 6-8 degrees, bees gather in a spherical mass, a club. As they come into contact with each other, they warm themselves. Also, the heat in the club is kept by the movement of bees. In the beginning they are close to the hive, there is more fresh air, and if suddenly there is a warm day, the whole mass of bees can fly out of the hive and swirl over the apiary. Then, with the onset of cold weather, the bees move further away from the outlet. The club does not remain constant. It may shrink or increase in volume, becoming more or less dense. The temperature in the center of the club is fairly stable at 14 to 15 degrees, regardless of what frosts are outside the hive in terms of severity and duration. From the center of the club, the heat spreads to the edges. Bees may swap places, the frozen ones squeeze into the middle, where it is warmer, and the warmed ones move to the edge. There is another sign to predict the weather by the behavior of the bees. If a swarm flies out of the hive early and makes its first spring flight, it means that spring will be early and warm. The wintering of bees is one of the most important periods in a beekeeper's work. Hives can stand outside, under the snow, or in a special room where it is possible to maintain a suitable temperature for bees, about 9 degrees Celsius, and humidity. It is necessary to create the best conditions for the bees to overwinter in order to keep them alive, and have the most energy for the next spring. This will determine the honey yield of the next season.